Hi, this video is more of a response to HomerFink1, who he's actually posted a few replies on some of my other videos, but the one I'm focusing on now is the one I did of First Samuel, or the one I entitled First Samuel and a Rant. Eventually, I would like to comment on some of his other videos, but I need to or on some of the other comments he's posted, but I haven't had the time to yet, and I want to really prepare something good. But this shouldn't take too long for me to post a response to his comment on my First Samuel and a rant. So he basically, on the video I kind of did a rant of seminaries where it's like you spend maybe about 95% of the time reading other books that aren't the Bible, and then 5% of the time, and I said I was being generous with that 5% of actually reading the Bible. So basically, I did post a comment on it, but you can only make so much space for comments, so I thought I would go ahead and address it directly on a video. Basically, first of all, you're right. I am paying money for a seminary, so why waste money there? Well, yeah, that is true, but at the same time, because I'm paying money, that gives me the right to voice issues and about my seminary. But I'm not just talking about my seminary. I'm talking about mostly all seminaries, not just mine. And I'm not saying it should be in some ways. And I'll be honest, I would love to find a seminary where you're reading 95% of the Bible and 5% other books. I doubt such a seminary exists. I mean, I could be wrong, but I doubt such a seminary exists. Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be completely 95%, but I think a lot more than 5% should be fair. And I say this for a few reasons. There's a lot of Christian cults that have sprung up over the years, and there's one that I know of that, and I'm not going to mention the name of it, nor am I going to name the college, but they do have their own college, and they do spend almost nearly the whole 100% on the Bible, or that's my understanding of it. And my critique about this is mostly because most of them walk out knowing the content of the Bible, at the very least the content of the Bible, more than and I'm going to use this as an example. Let's say someone goes to an undergraduate college and majors in biblical studies, gets that degree, and then they go on to seminary and gets maybe a master's of divinity. I'll use missiology as an example, because that's what I'm studying at my seminary, master's of divinity in missiology. So they have a biblical studies degree, bachelor, and a master's of divinity in missiology. And oftentimes, I'm willing to bet more than average of those graduates know less about the content of the Bible than what the person who's walking out of the college that I'm thinking of. That's associated with the cult that I'm mentioning, and also other cults. Some of them maybe don't even have to go to college. They're born and raised with this stuff, and they focus on just the Bible. So that's more the issue that I'm talking about. I hope that makes sense. And I also wanted to go on and say, at the same time, I'm just voicing one little issue I have with not just my seminary, but most seminaries that I know of. But I'll go ahead and just leave it at my seminary. This is just one issue, I have with the seminary. And there are things that I do like about the seminary. There are some of those other books that we're reading that I do like. For example, I do like shoot, I don't know how, I should have probably gathered them before I did this video, but there are some of the books that I'm reading right now that I do enjoy, that I do like. So yeah, some of them I do like. The ones that I showed the other day, they're just a couple of the books I'm going through that I don't like. And I think that's with any college or seminary you go to. There are going to be books that you don't like, and there are going to be books that you do like. And and then there are some things I like about this seminary too. Today I spent some time talking to the dean for a while, and he was very encouraging. I told him a little bit about my past, and oftentimes some people I tell a little bit about my past to. They see all these problems I've had and issues I've had, and they oftentimes they basically act like I can't do that. God can't use me in any way. If my heart was completely closed, there probably wouldn't be much God could do. But, because my heart is open, God can work. And, anyone who enters the field, they should have issues or problems that they need, that, God needs to work on them with. They're really not your problems. These aren't my problems. They're God's problems. And He's going to find some way to work through them. And if you enter the field without any issues or any problems, what can happen is, you become, basically it all becomes about your ministry. It becomes about your glory. You were able to pull off these great feats, so you're giving yourself, you're giving yourself the glory, right? But if you turn those problems over to God, God works through those problems. In fact, new problems will probably come up at some point with whatever ministry you're doing. And so if these new problems don't come up, with these new problems that come up, again, you keep giving them to God. You give God the glory. Therefore, it's God's ministry. You're willing to say, this is not my ministry, but God's ministry. And He is getting me through. These are some of the things in the past I've had to deal with that, God allowed to come my way, and God got me through it. And here's some new ones that God's going to also get me through. I hope that part makes sense. And but anyway, when I was talking to him about some of this stuff, he was, the dean was very encouraging to me. He's like, we all have our issues that we're going to bring in. We all have our pasts, and God can get you through them, and He's going to get you through more throughout the time. So that was very encouraging to me. Also, a lot of students that I've taught, and of course, I'm only taking classes online minus, module classes right now, which I have one coming up October 18th. So this is a good time to say, probably that week, I probably won't be recording any videos. Maybe God will provide me a way to record videos, who knows. But as far as I know, right now I may or not be able to record, so I'll go ahead and mention that now. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, a lot of the students, like I was saying, a lot of the students, they've been very encouraging to me, and they've been very helpful, and I've made some friends already. That is also something I like about this seminary. And I like how, like the syllabus is, what I like about the syllabus is their first suggestion when you sit down and study whatever you're studying, whether it's the Bible itself or, the two books I have sitting here. I guess, of course, these two I'm not too crazy about. Quality research papers and a manual for writers is what the titles are. They're helpful, but they're English books. I have a hard time reading them. I think that's why I'm not too crazy about them. But whatever you're reading, it's possible. And you can even say that about the books that I said the other day that I absolutely hated. My thoughts right now are, why are we reading these books? But I'm also trusting God right now to change my heart and reveal what are the uses of reading. A hermeneutical spiral by Grant Osborne, for example. That's what I'm relying on. That's the faith I'm putting in. Also, I think I've lost my train of thought again, but I hope this makes sense to you, HomerFink1, and I hope it makes sense. This is and also anyone else who maybe comes across it who watched my 1 Samuel video and a rant. This is kind of a response to that, or what you may be thinking. Why am I going to this seminary if I'm complaining? I'm only complaining about, and I wouldn't even call it a complaint, to be honest. It's more of a frustration, not just about my seminary, but other seminaries. So I hope this makes sense. Anyway, HomerFink1, if you watch this, I hope that it makes sense to you, because I'm posting this directly to you. So take care.